Hello Hog fans and welcome to Countdown to Tip-Off. I'm your host, Haley Middleton. Coming up on the show, we'll break down the game between Arkansas and Missouri, chat with a couple players, and discuss Eric Musselman's first year on the Hill. Countdown to Tip-Off starts right now. Hello and welcome back to Countdown to Tip-Off. Today's game between Arkansas and Missouri is big for many reasons. First of all, the Hogs are looking for revenge after losing in Columbia a few weeks ago. But more importantly, Arkansas needs to win out to make the NCAA tournament. For more on this matchup, here's Jackson McAfee and Eli Wallace.
Thank you, Haley. We're standing outside of Bud Walton Arena here in Fayetteville. I'm Jackson McAfee along with Eli Wallace. So as a lot of you know, Isaiah Joe has had a long absence here, and we're still waiting to see if he is able to play today. He's at a game time decision, and all we know is that he got knee surgery. We don't know what the injury is, but hopefully he's able to play today. However, Arkansas has other players that have been really stepping up, like Mason Jones, who averages almost 21 points a game this year, and he's had a few 30-point games and a couple 40-point games over these past few games that he's appeared in. And Arkansas is just it's going to be hard for them to see how things are going to go, but hopefully things turn around for them as they are on a 5-game losing streak.
Yeah, flipping the script to Missouri, we're going to have a look at this team here. They're 13-13 coming into the regular season. They're 5-8 of their conference. They're led by Drew Smith and Xavier Pinson. Pinson scored a career-high 32 points in their win against Ole Miss. This team is a very good defensive team. They're really good at switching around the perimeter. They're stout. They're tough. It's going to be very difficult to see how they compete against this hot offensive Arkansas team.
Yeah, and that's going to be probably a problem for a lot of Arkansas players because they like to drive in the lane, and we don't really have much assists. So Arkansas is probably going to have to really share the ball more and try to get out on the outside perimeter.
And I think a key for Missouri to win the game is going to be rebounding and sharing the ball. They're going to be a lot stronger whenever they rebound and get the ball moving around the perimeter. And Arkansas is going to be having a tough time trying to contain that, but we're going to see what happens in a fun game today.
All right, we're just going to send it back to you guys.
Thanks, Jackson. Each player on this team has taken a different journey to get to Fayetteville. Reagan Humper joins us now to tell us about one of those journeys.
Thanks, Haley. So many of you probably only know number 35, Reggie Chaney, as a forward for the Razorbacks basketball team, but I got to hear about how his not-so-ideal childhood made him into the person and player that he is today. So, Reggie, in 8th grade, you moved from your hometown Tulsa to Frisco, Texas, to live with the family and play basketball. What was it like having to uproot and go to a completely new place at only 13 without your family?
It was difficult moving away from my family and friends. I didn't want to move away from my family at first because, that's all I know. I was comfortable with that situation. But moving away from Texas, it definitely made me grow up a little bit, being away from my family. It could get difficult sometimes because you can miss them, but, the whole reason why I moved is for basketball. So, you remember why you're here, and that's the best opportunity for me.
Was it a big adjustment to live in a new house with people you didn't know yet?
It was a big adjustment. It was hard being there, on Christmases and holidays, not being with my family. It would get sad sometimes, but again, you just remember why you're here, and you just, it goes on. I called my family when I was in Texas, but it was hard just not being there with them in the flesh, on holidays and stuff like that.
So junior year, you moved to Las Vegas to play at Findlay Prep. Did you find it difficult to be comfortable and then yet have to go to a new place and kind of live on your own as if you were already a college student?
Yeah, it was difficult moving again. I didn't want to do it again, but my mom and my dad thought it was the best situation for me. So I went with it and I moved again. And this time, the only difference from moving here to the other place in Texas, it was I was actually living on my own this time. So eating, all that stuff, you got to cook on your own, get up on your own. It's ain't nobody around telling you what to do. So,
do you think you kind of had to grow up faster than a lot of people?
Oh yeah, most definitely. I just had to learn how to do a lot of stuff on my own. But that was all my life. But my parents, they didn't really teach me too much because I moved out the house at an early age. So everything else, cooking, cleaning, ironing clothes, washing, I had to learn that on my own.
Yeah. What advice would you give to a younger version of yourself, knowing how everything is worked out and is now?
If I had to give advice to my younger self, I would tell myself, watch the people you hang around, watch the company you keep, because, you have to, you got to be cautious of the people you hang around, and you got to hang around people that have something to lose just like you.
Reggie is studying sports management as a sophomore, so you can plan to see him back on our court for the next 2 seasons. Haley, back to you.
Thanks, Reagan. Speaking of journeys, Jimmy Wood has taken an interesting one as well. We'll hear from him later on in the show. But up next, a discussion with the coach's wife on what it's like to be the first lady of Razorback basketball. Stick around, we'll be right back. Welcome back to Countdown to Tip-Off. This year we welcome Eric Musselman as the new head coach of Razorback men's basketball team. We bring in Briley Vickers and Jax Garner now to discuss the culture he's trying to bring to Fayetteville.
Thanks, Haley. I'm Briley Vickers here with Jax Garner. Jax, this is a completely different basketball team we're seeing under first-year head coach Eric Musselman. Can you tell us a little bit about them?
Yes, this new Razorback team is smaller and faster and began this season with an impressive record of 11 wins and 1 loss. Although they've been on somewhat of a losing streak lately, I believe this team can work hard and finish strong this season.
And Mason Jones has really stepped up in terms of carrying the team on his back. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yes, Mason Jones has been very impressive this year. Last game against Florida, he actually scored 40 points, and the game before that, he scored 38 against Mississippi State. He is a tough, hard-working scoring machine, and I believe he could take this team to the playoffs and possibly the championship, which they have not done since 1995.
Thanks, Jax. Back to you, Haley.
Thanks, Briley. We all know Eric did not come here alone. His wife, Danielle, also brings a big part to the Razorback family. Our very own Sydney Tyler sat down with former ESPN sports journalist to find out what role she plays.
Hogs Hoops is bigger than what happens on the court. This week, I got to sit down with First Lady of Razorback Basketball, Danielle Musselman, and get her take on the importance of family.
So Danielle, I've heard a lot about your role in the recruiting of the Razorback basketball team. What kind of is that role?
Well, it's a little bit of everything is what I do. No, we really want families and our recruits to know that we are just another extension of their family. And so that means that we have an open door policy. We want parents to know that just because your child is leaving your home, it's almost like, a grandparent's house or, something like that. I have a 19-year-old stepson who is in college at University of San Diego. He still goes over to his grandma's house, and we want the players to feel like we are that house. So it's just getting that message across and making parents feel safe and secure that they're sending their children somewhere where they're going to be, cared for and loved and safe.
You said that you make the parents feel like their sons are going to be loved, and y'all have done an outstanding job getting the entire state of Arkansas to buy in to the program. What do you say to the parents to be sure that their sons know this is the right place for them? Well,
The most important thing is honestly to come with the truth. And for me and for us, that truth is that Eric is a great developer of talent. And that is just what any high school parent wants. They want their child to go to college, and they want them to be able to get better to hopefully then get them to that next level. And Eric has such a long track history of player development and helping players get better, that we just try to explain that and get that across to parents.
Y'all have made it seem like this is more than just the game of basketball. And I know this is y'all's first season at Arkansas, but have there been any players or issues that players have come to y'all about acting as y'all are their other parents?
Telling on the coach. No, not really. It's been more like hosting Thanksgiving dinner. We had, like 50 people at Thanksgiving. We want them all to come. I go on road trips with the guys. I check on guys who are sick or just see who needs anything, but I'm not the one that they come to rat out or discuss any problems with. I'm more the one that's kind of there, like bringing cookies and Halloween candy and that kind of stuff, the fun stuff.
Being the fun mom.
Yeah.
Is it hard balancing your own family and versus your basketball family?
No, not really. To be honest, we try to do as much as we can do together. My older stepson is part of the staff, so he's always there. And then our daughter, who's 10, she likes to come on as many road trips as she possibly can. The only thing that gets a little sticky is sometimes she has like a dance competition that I have to travel to at the same time that my husband has a game, and then you just kind of have to balance that out. But we try to kind of keep everything all together as much as we possibly can.
In addition to Eric's 2 adult sons, Eric and Danielle have a 10-year-old daughter, Mariah, who y'all have probably seen all over the internet because, like Danielle says, she loves the spotlight. Back to you, Haley.
Thanks, Sydney, but she isn't done yet. Sydney is now joined by Will Kennedy to break down Arkansas's chances of making the big dance.
Thanks, Haley. Sydney, do you think the Hogs have any chance of making the NCAA tournament?
You know, Will, at the beginning of the season, I would have said yes. They showed a ton of promise, starting off 9-1, beating teams like Georgia Tech and Indiana on the road. Mason Jones dropping 41 points against Tulsa. But since Isaiah Joe's been out and we've lost the last 5 games, I really don't see us winning the next 6 and making the tournament.
See, I disagree with that because I think early in the season we started off so hot, going like 13-2 or whatever it was, but beating teams like Indiana and Georgia Tech, I think that's just so good for your resume going into the NCAA tournament. And I actually think that the people that will put us in will see that we lost 5 games without one of our best players on the team. So with him coming back, and if we can go 5 wins in a row and maybe win 1 or 2 in the SEC tournament, I definitely think we'll have a shot. So back to you, Haley.
Thanks, Will. As you can see, we're staying outside Bud Walton Arena. In a few minutes, our very own Ava Wall has some fun with the Arkansas home crowd. But up next, a conversation with the oldest member of the team, Jimmy Witt. We'll be right back. Arkansas basketball fans are no stranger to Jimmy Witt. He started his career here and then left for SMU, but he came back this year as a graduate transfer. Cameron Johnson joins us now for more on Jimmy's plans for the future.
It's no secret Jimmy Witt knows what he's doing on the hardwood surface, but he also shared with me some of his big plans he has to make the world a better place off the court.
Jimmy, you're currently pursuing a master's degree in adult and lifelong learning. What made you choose this particular degree path?
I wanted to use something that I could use after college, and I do want to work with people transitioning out of college, so obviously that adult range, only because I know in my position it's hard trying to figure out what you want to do. For me, I've played sports all my life, and trying to figure out how long you want to continue to play sports and what you're going to do after that can sort of be difficult, so sort of work with people in that position.
Okay, so what do you want to do with this role after basketball, whenever that's over?
After basketball, I want to be in sort of like a mentorship role, just help people, help them guide themselves through life, because I know a lot of my friends don't have that, didn't have that growing up. So if I can be that for somebody else, I know I've needed it throughout my life.
Yeah. So what kind of impact do you want to have outside, like in the local community with this?
I think the impact I want to have is just to inspire people to be the best versions of themselves. If I can leave and someone comes up to me 20, 30 years from now and says, you inspired me to do what I'm doing today, I feel like I've lived a great life and done what I wanted to do.
Yeah, so kind of building on that, if you could give yourself some advice, your younger self, what would you say to yourself?
I would tell my younger self to expect failure, learn how to deal with it early, because the earlier you learn how to deal with failure and not necessarily reaching your goals the second you want to reach them, everything else is going to be easier. Everything's going to come a lot smoother when you learn that lesson earlier in life.
Jimmy's intentions of changing the world beyond the court are clear. However, before he focuses on that, he has his sights set on playing basketball at the next level. Back to you, Haley.
Thanks, Cameron. What a better way to wrap up our show with the one and only Ava Wall. Ava, what's going on out there? And that's a wrap on Countdown to Tip-Off. I want to thank everyone who was involved in making up this week's show. I'm Haley Middleton, and we'll see you next week.